We are back. We missed a week.
Yeah, we did.
We did. What was going on?
I went to Albuquerque.
That's right. And then you went out of town.
Yeah.
And then I went out of town.
Oh, we could talk about that.
Yeah, we can in just a few seconds. It is a special day. It is Tuesday. It is October 22nd. It's right before Halloween. So exciting because this past weekend it was cold.
Was it cold?
It was colder.
It was cooler.
It wasn't fucking hot.
It got
my point.
It got cool.
And yeah, it got down. It was in the 50s.
No, that's not cold.
It doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
I get I get what you're saying. It wasn't, but it
she was
wasn't.
Probably shivering.
It wasn't 90 degrees. Is my
Come
point.
snuggle on me,
and
Paul.
it kind of got me in the fever. You got the Halloween thing going on, and just it kind of brings up because you got Thanksgiving right around the corner and Christmas running around the corner, and I'm just getting fucking excited as hell, man. All right, thank you, Mr. Producer, for being on top of stuff. We got a special guest here tonight. We'll talk about her in just a moment.
We
Dudes like
do.
us. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
I am Jeff.
And Jackie.
And Jackie.
There
Jackie,
you
do you have a last name for this?
I do
podcast?
have it. I do have a last name, but do you want me to tell you my last name?
I don't care. It's up to you.
That's
All
up
right.
to you.
So I have a last name, and it's McIlvain, but no one's ever been able to say it nor spell it, so it's Jackie Mac.
Yeah.
Jackie Mac.
Jackie Mac.
Jackie Mac.
That's
The
got a
world
ring.
knows me as Jackie Mac.
That's got a ring to it. I like it.
It does.
Well, welcome to the podcast. We're so excited to have
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right.
So this October 22nd, we got a special happy birthday
Stop
to
it.
you.
Stop it.
Happy birthday
There's a card
to
for
you.
you.
Oh, my God.
Happy birthday, dear
I
Palito.
I don't know why my wife
Happy
told you.
birthday to you.
My wife,
I
I
think
don't
there's
know.
some nudity in there.
No, there's no nudity.
Oh, wow.
There's not?
No nudity. It's kind of a strange picture, but that's nice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It
Yeah,
says
so-
Paul, happy birthday.
And it's got some random Asian family.
Yeah, I put a little festive family event picture on
Yeah.
there.
What are you, 58 now?
No.
Oh.
You're fast forwarding for me.
Oh, how old?
I am 54.
54.
That's
I would
right.
never have thought
Damn.
that. I was thinking more like 60.
Oh, wow.
Totally kidding.
This
I
might
love
be
it.
the shortest podcast ever.
Welcome, Jackie Mac.
There you go, Mr. Biden. How you doing?
Yeah, I don't know why my wife told you that it was my birthday.
Dude,
but
I knew it was your birthday. It's on my calendar.
She decided to.
It's on my calendar.
And it's today,
It is today.
the
This guy.
22nd,
It
and you
is.
came
This guy.
here to hang out with your friends?
I did.
well, we're very
What?
special.
This was his birthday present from
Why-
his wife.
Oh.
I'm with you though. Why would I do that? Right? Why would
I don't know.
Why would I hang out with these guys on my birthday? Kind of strange.
I don't know.
All right, so we got a ton of topics to talk about. We've got happy birthday, Paul. Sincerely, I
Thank
love you,
you.
buddy.
I appreciate that.
I love you very much, and I want you to have. I hope you had a great day.
I worked.
Yeah, well, that's
Nice.
kind of typical.
Yeah.
We've got Halloween coming up this next week, which is an awesome thing. You know,
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be in town for next week's Tuesday?
I.
Oh no, it's Wednesday because it's November. No.
No, that's
I'm
the
a
following week.
fucking
We got 2 weeks to
dipshit
go.
here. All right, very good, very good.
2 weeks.
Because
2
we got
weeks.
voting right around the corner.
But we won't know anything until probably end of December before they officially call it.
They're already setting the stage for that, right? They're already saying.
I don't know why there's
Despite the
such a
fact,
problem.
yeah, despite the fact that we've had decades of knowing that night or the next morning, suddenly now, since the last election, we're not going to know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, it's not just the last election. It's been getting worse every election where there's too many lawsuits, and everything's been fairly close for the most part over the last several. And it's disputed. Everything, I dispute this.
I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, you've got all these stories with the Dominion voting machines that have been faulting, and you know they've got these contracts of Dominion machines. Aren't they sourced from Venezuela?
I do believe didn't Fox have to pay out over $1 billion to Dominion for saying the same thing you did?
For the libel.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, because there was no proof.
So,
You know, there was no proof that they were willing to share.
I don't have $1 billion.
I don't know how
saying.
that. Yeah, I don't know how that ended up, but I don't think
No.
it was.
I think it was
we
cheating.
can, but we can talk about all that because we have
Well,
early voting is already going on,
Yeah,
right? So
bring
all
that
that
up.
kind of stuff. But before we dive into all that, I would like to know a little bit about our guest.
Oh,
Oh.
Right.
she's
So
like, shit.
So all right.
I
so
actually have to participate.
all right. So my understanding is these weirdos here with me met you at a Liquor King.
Yes.
And that's how you guys
I was
formed
giving
a
away
bond.
free liquor,
Oh, yes.
and they're free liquor kind of guys.
They
Yes, we are.
really, really are.
Yeah, give me that little cup. Could you pour a little more in that cup?
Yeah, Sean usually complains. Is there
Really?
anything bigger than that?
Really,
No, I
that's
was like,
it?
Don't worry, I brought my own cup.
You want me to buy a bottle and you're going to give me that much as a sample?
Well, I
Really?
can tell you that I have told this story, I swear, 100 times, maybe 200 times about you guys coming in and having a podcast and how fun you were.
Really?
Yeah. And then I tell people, like, you have to listen to the podcast. They literally talk about everything.
Yes.
We're nuts. We're
Everything.
crazy.
It's true.
We do.
And half the shit we say is not even true. We have no idea what the hell we're
I did
talking
notice
about.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did notice that.
Our
Yeah.
producer has to pull up stuff constantly and fact check this when he's not.
Who needs
Yes.
fact
When it's
checking?
focusing.
Just say what you want. That's how it goes.
Well, we think we're right,
Well,
so
we
that's what we go
do,
with.
and then shortly thereafter, we're like, oh, yeah, we're wrong. So
And you know
that's-
the awesome
that's usually
thing
how it goes.
is that we found out that Jeff is actually wrong too. Several incidences.
Very rare, but yes, it
No,
happens.
it's.
But the
it's-
important thing is that it's
starting a
possible.
trend
No,
now.
I
It
do
is
admit,
possible.
I've-
So you're
I've-
saying there's a chance.
I've definitely had some. I go back when I listened to Ed, and I was like, "Yeah, I was way off on that."
Yeah. Sean was right. Go
But
ahead,
if
say
my
it.
voice is deep
I'll never
enough, so
say that.
people will believe me, right?
Yes.
Like I just say it with conviction.
It's,
Yeah.
it's the authority. That's right.
There you go. All right, so walk us through. All right, so you do sampling. I mean, like you
She represents.
represents. Yeah. What walk us through that.
Well, you know, I'm a bourbon girl, been a bourbon drinker for a long time.
Okay.
Very involved in the bourbon community in Dallas, Fort Worth. It's
Oh,
great. Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, it's great. And I met a lot of people along the way, and some folks asked me, hey, you're friendly. You want to serve a little bourbon? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not do that on a Friday night? Meet some people.
You're good at it.
Yeah, I love it. It's
Yeah, it
great.
worked.
I mean, here I am.
Now you
Here
bet
you
us.
are.
That's right.
Right? I've met all kinds of people. I went on a date from somebody that bought some bourbon from me.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
very
it
nice.
didn't go well, but I
Oh.
mean, I did
That's
go
all
out
right.
on a date.
It's
It was
about
good.
opportunity.
Yeah, it's about opportunity.
Yeah. Did you get
I'm
a
an
free taco or
opportunist.
did you get a free sandwich out of it or something?
No, but he works for Whiskey Cake. No free sandwich or free taco, but a lot
What is
of
Whiskey Cake?
really
you
good
said that
bourbon.
earlier. What is Whiskey Cake?
It's a restaurant down.
You really
in
don't know
Plano.
Whiskey Cake?
I
Yeah.
don't get out very often.
It's off of Parker and the Tollway.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
pull it up.
several around. There's one in
Whiskey Cake.
Alliance. There's one in
Actually, I
up
think
at
I've been
Freeport
there.
Parkway.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't. You know, when I was thinking Whiskey Cake, I'm thinking like whiskey infused food.
So
Yeah.
they have a whiskey cake
They-
that
they
will
really
curl
do.
your toes.
Go on.
Nice.
Go on.
Like where this is going.
Spicy. It has it's kind of like not pumpkin spice, maybe anise and ginger and all kinds of really great spices.
All the people from
nuts and
When you describe
cream.
it's probably better than it actually is.
no, it's not better. No,
I mean, you do
I'm not
a
doing
great-
it. I'm
no,
not
you-
doing it a service.
No, you do a good job.
No.
Your voice is like, kind of makes it.
sensuous.
Yeah,
Makes it ring.
when I go eat it, that's what I do the whole time. I take a bite and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good.
They have a booze luge.
It's
Ah.
not a butt luge. It's a
Booze luge.
Oh, we've got the
bone marrow
menu.
booze luge.
We've got the
Roasted
menu
bone
pulled
marrow,
up here.
smoked data syrup, grumlata, and a shot of bullet. Rye
Oh.
21. Interesting. 21 year? No.
It's not bad.
2021.
Do you remember when I had a happy hour that was why I couldn't go on the run with you guys? It was
Oh.
it was
Whoa.
at Whiskey
Whiskey
Cake.
cake.
I
It
Yeah.
was at
see.
Whiskey Cake.
Did you
yeah.
get the booze luge?
I did not.
You got the
Yeah.
butt luge.
And you know what? I thank you. I did not.
Right.
I got a Miller Lite. Yeah. Go
At Whiskey,
figure.
you
That's
got
all
a
you got.
Miller Light
I
at
did.
Whiskey Cake?
I did.
It's like ordering a water.
Right. I know. It's kind of
Yeah.
strange, but I did.
Yeah.
I was trying to behave myself that night because I knew that it was going to be kind of like, multiple stops with multiple drinks, and I was like trying to
A
be
Miller
good.
Lite, a Pilsner,
And I did good. I did really well.
4.2%.
No, it's just a regular Miller Lite.
So go
Anyway.
go to their whiskey list real quick while she talks. I want to read it.
They have
Okay.
they have an incredible whiskey list.
I didn't realize we're going to be doing a spot on whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whiskey
you
cake.
know, their price points are a little, they're,
Little high.
yeah, a little high.
Well, they all are, right? It's a little frustrating.
It
It's
is.
hard to find a well-priced, solid bourbon drink around here. It really is.
Yeah, have you been to East Side in Denton?
I have
No.
not.
East Side in Denton is so inexpensive, and they have an incredible selection.
We'll need a
$5,
driver.
$7.
We'll have to
Wow.
have to solicit our producer to drive us down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. And you guys could cause a lot of trouble there because they have a nice bar, and then they have food trucks
So we
outside, and
need
a lot of people
we
in
need
music.
protection.
Yeah, I don't think the producer's going to
See,
be
I-
enough protection though.
I think what the challenge is we have basically all of these. We know how much a bottle costs. I'm like,
Yeah,
Really?
that's the part about it that really troubles me. I mean, look, we're losers from all different perspectives, but I'll bring back an old memory.
Multifaceted losers. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. I mean, we recognize exactly what Jeff said. I mean, it's so expensive. I mean, we got to the point where we were going to the local venue up the street, the Revel, whatever the hell it's called.
Right.
And we go see, because they have a bunch of 80s rock bands in there, 70s rock bands. We enjoy that stuff. And every time I go there, we're like, we get blown up there every time we go there. Well, let's get that out of the way. We get fucked up. We're hammered.
There's a reason, though.
And it's because we drink.
And we bring our own.
Well, I was getting there, Palito.
God.
So, I mean, one of the things, we had like, $200, $300, an outrageous bill. And we were like, all right, well, let's bring something. So I got a little satchel, and I bring a couple little half bottles in there, and we start drinking that. And next thing you know, we're fucking blown up again. And now we start ordering old fashions.
And we still get a $200-$300 bill.
Yeah.
We drink just as much.
The whole point.
Except now we're blackout drunk.
Yeah, the whole point was to minimize how much we drink from their stock.
I'm drinking beer only.
Yeah.
But the problem is we get loaded.
Let's just have one.
Yeah, we get loaded on our stock and drink more of their stock.
In order for your friends that you just met at the bar.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
of
yes.
course. That's what we all do.
It's insane.
We usually have we have a specific table we like to sit in. It's a little 8 top. It's like closest to the stage. You ever been there?
I have.
Yeah. So we like to commandeer that table. We usually go online and rent out all the chairs. And out that
we have
high
not
top.
done that in a long time.
Well, and rightfully so,
we
because
did it a lot.
Yeah, we were doing it a lot, like once a month, and it part of it was the cost, and part of it is the recovery. I mean, it's just like, it's painful.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
I'm
definitely
like,
it's definitely the
fuck.
recovery.
I'm like, where's
Yeah.
my gun? Where's my wallet? Why am I on the front lawn? I mean, what's going on? You know?
In a wife beater T-shirt and boxers
Yes.
I didn't wear out last night.
Oh, they're inside out.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're backwards.
So I know you're a listener of the podcast, so you know we say vulgar things, but we're going to filter ourselves tonight because we have a lady in the house.
Oh.
But what we normally would say, well, I'm not going to say it. You normally would say,
I would.
you
not.
wake up with something hanging out of your something.
Oh, and you had to bring
That's
it up.
what you always say.
Okay. Anyways, glossing over that whole thing.
I don't know. I come with
'cause it's
this
funny.
and this
Yes.
and this.
Yes. I want to get back to,
Very nice.
you didn't get too much into what you were, we go on tangents, so we apologize.
It's
But
okay.
she has a normal job.
What?
All right.
I do.
Is that what
No,
you're-
no, we talked about that earlier, but the bourbon and the whiskey, I want to get a little bit more into that on who you represent, who you do it with, and some of the characters you've met outside
Yeah, and how
of
do you
us.
get connected with them?
From the bourbon community.
Okay.
I'm the person, I'm the connector in the group. So I know if I don't know somebody, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So everybody's always looking for the connector.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I like spirits. I like to talk about them. I like to talk to people. And when I drink bourbon, I do the ho 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 ho. And when I talk about bourbon, I do the ho ho ho. It's it's all.
And people are drawn to that.
They are very drawn to that. I sell a lot of bottles.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm friendly, outgoing.
Now, but how do they approach you to say, we want you to market our bottles?
It's more like we need someone to market some bottles. Anybody know somebody? And everybody says, oh, Jackie Mac, she'd be great at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's any distillery?
Yeah. No, not really. I pour for a couple of distilleries. Iron Root is one of them.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great one. I
We
love.
enjoy Iron Root.
We
Oh,
do.
Yeah.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, I love their product. It's
It's a little different, and because
corn. It's corn based though.
it's corn based, but it's corn based from a cognac style of production, which
Yeah.
is fine, and not just the corn, but it's the type of corn they use.
They use all
Yeah.
kinds of corn.
Yeah,
They
it's
do.
crazy.
Those brothers are innovators. They are trying different things, and they're doing, trying different corns. And anyways, it's actually kind of fascinating. Their story is fascinating.
Yeah, we talked to
Yeah.
I think it was Nellie.
Yeah, I just talked to Nellie as I was walking in the door tonight.
No.
Did you tell her?
I did. I told her I was on my way here. I said, I don't know. I'm walking to a house where there's a bunch of men.
Yes.
I'll call you later.
Please do tell me everything.
Everything. She said, oh, girl, they tried to get me too.
Oh, yes.
I did. I was on the phone with her, and she was trying to pass me off to somebody else. And I was like, "Bitch, please! I wanted you. Frankly, I'll take the other guys, but it's like I was more interested in you." It's like, well, you know what? I don't want to say anything to disrupt or offend the people I represent. I was like,
I get it.
and then I was like, Nellie, look, come on as Nellie. You don't have
And
to represent
Nellie
anybody.
is amazing. If you
She
know
is.
Nellie, she is absolutely incredible.
Every
and,
time we talk to her.
and I will tell you, that woman's bourbon collection.
She showed us.
She showed you.
The pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, of the bourbon.
Her whole garage is full of it.
And,
wow.
And a whole room and the living room and
No, she didn't show us that.
yeah, she's got a lot of bourbon and she knows so much. She's so knowledgeable.
Sounds like she's got a problem.
No, not at all.
So is this?
I mean, not my kind of problem.
is this the mother? Is this the
No,
Okay,
that's Marsha.
No. Yeah, Nellie's the.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You weren't there.
I have. Yeah. See, they like to go on trips, bourbon related trips.
We were at Total
without
Wine.
me.
So
Without
someone
me.
had to
They
go
do it-
see ELO.
They do it
Yeah.
regularly.
So,
Just
so
we'll-
you know.
we'll
Some
talk-
old men sing.
Yeah.
It was
So are
very
you
old.
not as fun as they are? Is that
Apparently,
why they don't invite you?
I think they have decided I'm not,
Oh.
and that's why I'm not.
Paul is-
I'm not invited
Paul
to
is
a lot of these things.
Equally fun. He is. Paul adds a different shade of what's
He's the,
going
fo-
on.
he's the
Different
foil.
shade. How do I say this without offending him? Let
Yeah.
me
Well,
think.
no, Paul.
Oh,
No,
boy.
Paul is part of the group. He's a component. I mean, together it's chemical. But you know,
As Chuck said, I'm the foil.
he changed that.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did actually.
No,
Yeah,
he's,
it's on the podcast.
he's not allowed to
Yeah,
change that.
He retracted that, and he's
No.
labeled you as
It's
something
etched,
else.
It's etched in stone.
Wow, we'll discuss that later. But my point is that we each bring something to the table. I mean, for dudes like us, listeners out there, the first times listeners, I mean, we met. Basically, we met because our kids go to school with each other.
Right.
You know, sporting events, and we just kind of, hey, how you doing? How you doing? You know, it's like
You're as stupid
was
as
just
I
like
am.
that.
Yes.
You're as
By the
stupid as
way-
I am. Let's go have drinks together.
So you get hammered.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Paul and I, we were friends for quite some time. We did a lot of paintball shooting with a big group of guys, and we go out to
Pottsboro.
Pottsboro.
Yeah.
And you know, we had a buddy that had a house, had like an acre and a half in the back, and we'd get like it was like 16 guys, 20 guys, something like that. It was ridiculous. We have 8-on-8. And we went and bought a bunch of cardboard boxes. We created our own paintball field, and just that was fucking
That was fun.
15 years ago.
We did it a long time.
Good
We
Lord.
also have family connections, right? I mean,
Yeah.
your wife was best friends with blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And then Jeff rolls in because my son and his son are best friends. And then I'm like, hey, who's this guy? He calls me
Yes.
up. He's like, your son and he's
No,
spray painted the
I need
side of
him
my
to say it
house.
like he does in that.
Yes.
Your son.
Yeah, they decided to. That's when the first time I met you.
Yeah.
They did. My boys, Preston, his oldest son, and my Stephen. You'd met him earlier. Decided to paint the side of my house.
Yeah, a little spray paint.
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly what they're.
I don't know what they were building.
At what age?
They're 10, maybe.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
ridiculous.
Oh, my
So Jeff
gosh.
calls me, and I'm like, dude, fucking brush it off, man. What do you want me to do?
It did not work.
Yeah,
It's still on there.
It is. I mean, it's still on there. We just kind of let it go. It absorbs in there.
Well, you gave me something. He goes, here, use this. It'll take it right
it was
off.
a graffiti remover. You would think it would
Yeah,
work.
it didn't work.
Yeah.
I don't think you put enough elbow grease in it.
I was scrubbing the shit out of it.
Well, what were you scrubbing it with? A sponge?
Well, no, it was a brush.
What kind of brush? Like a hairbrush?
This was 12 years ago. I have no idea.
I bet it was a comb. You need to use
So
metal bristles.
maybe every time you have a podcast, you can get him to go out and take.
No,
Take that
it's
cleaner.
stained. It'll be gone here soon enough.
No, we'll take turns pissing on it. Maybe that'll
Yeah.
freaking
Oh, that'll
bleach it out.
definitely work.
Yes. That's the thing with the boys. There's no problem. Any of them just stepping in the backyard and using it as a toilet. Do your kids do that, your boys?
Use the backyard as a toilet.
Yes.
Hell, I do that sometimes.
I think if they've been partying out in the back, they kind of urinate in the backyard. Yeah, I guess so.
No, it's closer.
Yeah, sure. I mean, don't we
I
all?
have grandsons, and that's their thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
They just want to pee outside.
Yeah.
that's a guy thing, a boy thing.
Is it?
I'm
okay.
doing it less and less nowadays. I mean, it's like
That's probably good.
Yes.
That's progress.
I mean,
Jail time. There's some considerations.
well, I mean
Yeah.
the backyard, not the front yard.
Or
I don't think I've ever done the
or
front.
outside the bar.
Have I done that?
I don't
Yes.
know.
You've done it outside of Specs.
Outside
What?
spec.
He did recently.
Yes.
I did.
He opened up the car. He opened up the car doors very strategically. I'm like, "What are you doing? You're not doing what I think you're doing." And he's okay. All right. Anyway, so
Didn't quite
that
sound like
remember that
that.
gigantic cowboy guy that had the truck next to ours? I wanted to go tell him, "Hey, you peed all over your tires, bro." But you know what?
They were cleaner.
I was worried about your health, so I didn't.
Whatever. You know what? Sometimes you just got to do it, and I feel bad for women because they don't have that. I mean, well, they choose not to do it because it's
Well, they
a
can
little
do it.
Not
different.
true.
Oh, they
yeah,
can do
that
it. No
is
problem.
not true.
Not true.
When you have to, you do.
Listen, my best friend, she will go anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. She says, I gotta go, so I'm going.
Yeah.
Like in a parking lot.
Anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Not my thing, but hers.
I know my wife,
Huh.
if we're on a road trip, she'd be like, just pull over. I'm opening both doors right there on the
That's
side
what
of the
I
road.
do.
What?
Yeah.
That's what
open
I
both
do.
doors.
She
for
did
sure.
that when we were in Tahoe, if you remember. We all got out and you all went down into the woods. She squatted and used the restroom.
I am
That's probably how what her
so-
parents did. I recall
thankful.
that as well, pulling over on the side of the road, opening both doors. And
My
Just
family
freedom.
never did that. That's not something we
really,
did.
where are you from?
Well, I was born in Denver, but actually we grew up all over the place. My dad was a geologist for Amoco. So I grew up in Japan, Argentina,
He's a
Indonesia. Yeah, I'm a foreigner. I'm a damn foreigner. But I told you guys the story of when I was at Texas World Speedway. We've been drinking beer all day. Were you there? That Mark was there.
Texas Motor Speedway?
Yes.
No, I was not.
It was under the lights. It was the inaugural race under the lights. Do you remember that?
No.
Anyway, so we get done. We've been drinking
So
beer
they
all
normally
day.
turn the lights off?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was normally during the day.
Use headlights.
It was normally during the day, and this was the first time ever at night. So it was actually kind of cool. And of course, I didn't know the significance of it. I'm just drinking beer and having fun.
Right.
We leave. The highway's just a parking lot. And I'm like, dude, I got to go. And they're like, all right. And they pull off. And I'm like, stumbling down into the ditch. And I get up on this barbed wire fence. It's pitch black. And I'm like, oh, good. And I'm looking. The cars are not moving at all. All of a sudden, I'm like, I blink a couple times. I'm like, damn, it is bright. What is going on? They had turned the car around, put the brights on me, right? While I'm peeing on the barbed wire fence. And of course, cars up and down the whole freeway.
Oh, the
And
full
I'm
Monty.
really? Like, that's what friends do, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, my God.
I would have ran you over.
I'm sure you would have.
I mean, not fully. Just
I would have
kinda-
tossed you some beads.
Ah.
very nice.
Texas
All
Motor
right.
Speedway beads.
Yeah. Well, that'll work.
Yeah.
Those aren't the beats he likes.
No.
Oh.
Oh, God.
I've never been.
Anyway.
I've never been to the Mardi Gras or New Orleans. You've been down to New Orleans during that whole thing?
I haven't been. I've been to New Orleans, but not for that.
I've
But Texas
been-
Motor Speedway, it's a big thing.
Oh, beads are?
Yes.
I did not know this. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
Ju-
moved that bus for some beads.
Is it, so it's the same philosophy as New
Yeah,
Orleans?
Yes. it's
Show
the same.
your-
yeah.
Your tatas and
Yeah.
I'll throw you some.
No, show
Do
your...
guys get the same respect if we show our boobies?
No.
Well,
No, I don't think so.
I mean,
Would you throw beads to the guys?
Dude, I'll put some pasties on, little tassels.
Ugh.
Throw down.
Please
Stick
don't.
to the hair?
yeah.
If
yeah.
the beads are good enough, I'll
So what do you do?
They have- they have some
is
good
it kind of
beads.
like Chuck E. Cheese? You trade in the beads for you get like stuffed toys and stuff or a basketball or something?
Like a boa?
Yeah, no.
What do you do with
You're
the
just the
beads?
coolest that you have all those beads.
Oh.
The more beads you have, the better his
Oh, well,
his beads.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got to ask yourself. I mean, you're like going there trying to pick up women. I'm like, how'd you earn that? I mean, those are freaking Walmart. Watermelons.
I do not know what you're trying to say.
I don't know. I've never been there. I've never experienced it. I just have heard my friends come back and they're kind of like, oh, we saw this chick do this and we saw this chick do that. And it's kind of like, God, how vulgar.
But that's the spirit of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Having
It
fun.
is the spirit,
It's
and
having
you're
fun.
in the spirit, and you're in the moment, and,
And-
you don't really care.
And it really doesn't mean anything. It's just having fun in the moment.
It's just having fun in the moment,
Yeah.
for sure. Like peeing outside the car when you get out at Specs. It's just you're just in
Right.
the moment.
Oh, I don't.
See?
Yeah.
See?
Having
You're just
fun.
in the
It-
moment having
but
fun.
See?
That wasn't in the moment having fun. That was a matter of necessity. That was, do I want to pee in Paul's car or do I want to pee on on outside?
You know what a lot of people would have done in that situation is as we're getting up to leave, you're like, hey, guys, wait a second. I'm going to go to the restroom.
Yes.
That's what I think a normal human would have done. You, on the other hand, walked 10 feet out into the parking lot and like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. What am I going to do now?
But it could be
I'm going to
temperature.
pee on this truck.
You know,
It
it
could
could be
happen.
temperature. If it's too cold outside
Right.
or it's too hot outside, you never know.
And,
Probably the
and-
enlarged prostate as well.
yes,
Excellent.
that's it.
Yes.
It's
and
been
it-
a
and it-
long time since
and it
I had a
creates this-
conversation about a large prostate,
I get my prostate checked regularly.
but I do appreciate
Monthly, from what I heard.
No.
Quarterly?
No,
Wow.
No, now it's annually.
It was quarterly.
Wow. See, Jackie, we start by asking you, so who do what bottler, how do they talk to you? And then now we're talking about peeing outside of races and getting beads
All
for
right,
it.
it.
so-
Absolutely.
So going
All
back,
right.
so you're into the bourbon community. Do you know all the whiskey clubs and all of them? And
Yeah, a lot of. In fact, tomorrow at lunch, I'm going with the locals to Whiskey Cake. We
Okay.
go every 2 weeks and enjoy each other's company and talk.
How many
About
people usually
bourbon.
go out?
about 15, 20.
The locals, is that what is that?
That's a bourbon club.
That's
It's
literally
called the
their name.
locals?
That's, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and we do picks, so we do a lot of different community things. And
Would they be interested for us showing up with a little mobile podcast program out there?
they probably would.
That would be kind of cool.
Because we have a whole different setup where we can bring for mobile
Yeah, absolutely.
speakers and everything.
So how many groups are you affiliated with?
Several. So there's the locals. There's Someone Say Whiskey. That's how I kind of got invited into the whiskey community. That's how I met Nellie.
We've heard of that recently.
Someone Say Whiskey, yes. That was
Oh yeah, I recall
the
that.
Garrison brothers, James.
That's
Grissom
right.
mentioned it.
James threw that out.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
and they're a national group. They're large. They're actually based out of Frisco. They're kind of like you guys, grassroots. A couple of guys got together and they just want to talk about bourbon and
Yeah.
it just grew from there.
And
so
peeing in parking lots.
They don't really talk about peeing in parking lots.
Oh, they
but,
don't. They don't talk about that.
Well, they're not
Yes.
real men.
Maybe
Oh.
they just haven't around me. Maybe I've just missed
There you
that
go.
conversation. So there's DFW Whiskey Club. They actually have a golf tournament going on this week in Irving.
Okay.
It's a big fundraiser, so that's super fun. I'm actually pouring for 6th Street
Mhm.
on
Nice.
Saturday. Yeah.
All right, so I don't want to interrupt your, but,
yeah.
but let's make sure we at some point go back to 6th Street. I want to hear more about that distillery. But anyway, what other groups?
Which golf course is it?
It's I don't know the name of it.
Oh,
It's
it
it's
Fort
the
Worth?
city one. It's
the
whatever.
Irving Golf Club, probably.
I don't know the name.
Is it? All right, just go on.
DFW that's DFW Whiskey Club, which is Saturday. Trinity River Whiskey Club. They're in Fort Worth,
Wow.
and yeah, they're just on the other side of the Trinity River.
So you could be a member of all of these and not be from Fort Worth.
correct.
Just
Yeah.
be a lover of whiskey.
It's
Just
real-
a lover
it's
of
really about
whiskey.
bringing people together that want to
Right.
make
So
connections.
are there like monthly dues, quarterly dues?
No,
annual?
they're all free groups. It's just all camaraderie. It's community and camaraderie. And I will tell you that I don't know how many bottles I've received over the years from people. My favorite brand, I'm going to give them a little shout out, is Sagamore. I'm a Sagamore
Oh, yeah.
rye girl.
Nice.
Nice.
We don't have any of those. We need to get one.
Oh, I would have
Or
brought
two.
one for you.
Yeah, we have not.
Yeah, we don't have
I'm not
any.
familiar with it.
I've been wanting to. I was just
I think I have almost
Sagamore
every.
Spirit Distillery.
Yes, in
Yeah.
Baltimore.
yeah, that's good stuff.
Interesting. How'd you get hooked up with them?
They were just a fan fave. Probably one of the first things I
Oh,
drank.
I
I really
see.
enjoyed it, and then everything they have, every finished product they have, I love.
So somebody locally introduced you to it
yes,
and became your favorite.
and
Very
Someone Say
nice.
Whiskey.
Interesting. What's
I
the
went to a
cost point
bottle share.
of Sagamore? Because they've got it's just I see just rye. That's all they have is rye.
It's rye.
That's all
Sagamore
rye,
rye.
I recognize the
Oh, that's
bottle.
why they call it Sagamore.
That's why they call
Kind
it
of
Sagamore.
diamond shaped.
I
Sagamore
recognize it. Yeah.
Spirit.
Like that.
Yeah, my dog's name is Miss Sagamore.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
that big of a fan.
I was going to say,
Wow, that's,
I'm that big of a fan. I call my dog. I'm naming my dog after.
I
that.
would agree.
Yeah. Their price point's probably 35 to they're under 100.
Nice.
35 to 85 depending on what you're buying.
Okay. That's, standard
Yeah.
price for what is considered a decent bourbon, decent whiskey, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Sagamore rye. All right,
Sagamore
well,
rye. You definitely need one. I totally would have brought one if I'd known.
Well, that's all right. We pride ourselves on collecting them for because we want to know. We really do. I mean, that is it's not the entire goal of the podcast. The goal of the podcast is really just to share dudes like us moments.
Yeah.
That are real, because there are people out there that go through life and they experience stuff. Yeah. The bourbon is one thing. I mean, we talk about how our taste has evolved from Miller Lite to wheat IPA to barley wine to, and then we're like, we're getting fat now, and now
Right.
we're fat. So now it's like, all right, well, we kind of dropped the beer and we started drinking the bourbon, and then we started doing the podcast, and we're like, why don't we just talk about it?
Yeah.
But it's basically the Dudes Like Us podcast evolves around just things that dudes like us do, and
Yeah.
it could be dudettes. It's just life.
Yeah.
Taking the kids to the school in the mornings, talking
Yeah.
about that, taking them to college.
I think the biggest reason why we do it is like, imagine somebody's having a really shitty day, right? And they're like, they just need to uncheck, and they're feeling crappy about themselves. They think they're a loser. They listen to us and they realize there are 3 guys worse off than I am.
Do you think so?
Bigger losers, right?
I don't
Well,
know. I listened to your podcast and so nothing is off the table.
Now we
I
do
love
talk
that
about
nothing is
everything.
off the table, and I love a quick wit and humor. Like you guys are so fast and quick.
Well,
maybe that's not good.
it's good.
Humor,
yeah.
humor,
There you
humor.
go.
Speaking
Speaking of fast and quick wit,
no, but
All right.
we like it. We come from, like Paul said, he mentioned he grew up abroad. You know, I'm a military brat, so I lived in a couple places around the planet. And Jeff, he's homegrown in Cincinnati. I'm sorry, in
Cincinnati.
Ohio,
Yeah,
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm the only one. I don't want to say a normal childhood, but a one place childhood. They were both military, or not military, but
Oil
oil
brat.
and traveling, right? So they grew up in many, many different places. Where I grew up in Reading, Ohio.
Well, you were juvenile detention system or
That was me,
prison
yeah.
system most of your life, right?
Yeah, it
And a
was.
sewer dweller.
Yes.
Yeah, in Ohio.
Yeah,
In
'cause
Ohio.
you hung out
Yeah.
under the manholes and the
I did climb into sewers.
You did. That's the
That's
true
it.
statement.
one
You
of the
really
things.
did?
Yeah, when I was small. Yeah, when I was probably 12, 13 years old, we had there was a creek and a bunch of woods behind our house, and the rain-off sewer was what created the creek, right? So all that water would come down, and we would climb up into the pipe, and we probably went 300 feet underneath the ground until you're underneath the street, and you could stand up again. And
And throw firecrackers at cars.
no, that was too high. It was probably 30 feet under the ground.
That's cool. You know what's interesting?
That is crazy.
Because he's an army brat or a military brat, and I'm a oil brat. We had different childhoods, and you had the classic American, grow up in a neighborhood with the same friends from
Yep.
a very early age.
yeah, I envy that.
Really,
Me too.
me too. Me
I do
too.
that. I do.
And you had a tight group of friends for a long that you still talk to
I still talk to him.
as since you were a little kid.
Yep.
I love that story about your childhood because it's like the typical American not small town necessarily, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Like that's super cool.
The American way.
And what was your upbringing, Jackie?
Yeah, well, I'm Canadian.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
A.
grew up in a small town too. You
I
said.
Yeah,
right?
but
did.
walk us through what that means. I mean,
What that means?
you were born in Canada.
I was born and raised in Canada, went to school in Canada. My
Mhm.
family are all still in Canada except for my children.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
so
what part of Canada?
Nova Scotia,
All right. So
the Maritimes,
that is far east.
northeast.
Yeah, northeast, north
Not
of
as-
Maine.
Not as far as you can go, but northeast.
cold as
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cold as a lot. A lot cold.
So-
Cold is a lot. Yes.
So
Yeah.
is it farther east than Quebec?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's surrounded by water.
All right, yeah.
Small little province. Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Cape
Right.
Breton, Newfoundland.
It's probably
Nova Scotia's in the
Oh
northeast.
yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I know where
Way
that's
up
at.
there.
Yeah.
and it's probably beautiful, but it's cold how many months out of the year?
Oh,
Like uncomfortably cold how many months?
uncomfortably cold, probably 7 months out of the year.
Damn.
Yeah, when I moved here, I moved here for love. It's a long story.
Oh.
But that year was so cold, and we had so much snow. It was nothing to not see a stop sign at the end of the road because the drifts were so
Yeah.
high. I remember in one particular year, it was just my mom and I at home, and we actually brought snow in to the house so we could get out of the house.
Oh my God! Because they had nowhere else to go. You had to bring it into the house to make a route, to make a path.
a scoop at a time.
Wow.
A spoonful at a time. Get it open, press my feet against the door, and bring a little bit in, put it in the bathtub, and then bring more in so we could get out.
Wow.
Yeah, I grew up in Cincinnati, nothing near that, but I have no desire to live in the snow.
It would almost seem
No.
advantageous to have a roof access.
Oh, that you could pop out the roof?
Yeah,
Well, that's covered in snow as well.
Yeah, it is.
Feet of snow.
Yeah, and you have to actually shovel your roof depending on where you live. You have to shovel your roof.
Well,
No.
see, that's where I would excel because I would just urinate on it.
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
Good.
Perfect.
little-
Don't eat
little
yellow
snow,
snow, they
yeah.
say.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
just don't have to eat it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's my.
I've noticed that people I know my boys have said, yeah, I want to go up and, live somewhere where there's snow and a winter. And I'm like,
Mm.
no.
Until you have to shovel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really is what it is. So you either have to be wealthy to have the snow removed, or you have to have, the strength to be able to
Yeah.
move it yourself.
Well, it also, when you get older, that's what got my dad. He was shoveling 3 feet of snow at the age of 80.
Damn.
and he had a massive heart attack.
Wow.
So that was what got him, and he should have known better. But it was it was my dad.
But it's what you do. It's
Yeah.
what you have to do.
Yeah.
It's like a regular chore.
My parents,
It's like mowing the yard, right?
Yeah, my parents don't know any different. My dad is 82 years old. My dad has a snowblower, goes out and does the whole driveway and the sidewalks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he had a shovel doing it. So and I told him, I was like, "You're not doing that again." He's like, "No." So we started looking at snow blowers, but he didn't. Again,
At that point, it was done.
yeah, it is what it was. But he would have hired someone to do it at that point. But,
Yeah, no kidding.
snow is good to visit
It is.
and to have fun, but to
Yeah.
live in it, I have no desire to do
I don't
that.
even have fun in it when I go home. All I do is dread the layers.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like a one garment kind of person, right?
Right.
So I don't want to put on pants and long underwear and socks and a coat and then snow pants
and not be able to go anywhere for days.
and walk like a
So Nova Scotia isn't that like a compilation of islands out there?
well, yeah, it's not really a compilation.
I mean, there's more than one.
So
I mean,
Prince Edward Island, Cape Breton, is that what you're saying? Like the
Well, I'm
Newfoundland,
thinking-
they're all little islands.
Mr. Producer, why don't you pull the map up of Nova Scotia?
Nova
because
Scotia.
I know that my family's from the Northeast, and I know they frequent. They've got a timeshare. They've got some property they own on an island that's south of Nova Scotia, maybe 50 miles, maybe 80.
Sable Island, maybe?
Shabig Island.
Shabig?
Yeah, it's
Okay, so Nova Scotia is not an
Okay.
island. It is attached to the mainland.
yeah.
Yeah.
I completely misunderstood. I thought Nova Scotia was like a bunch of little islands, but that's not.
Yeah,
No.
and as you come into the island, you can see so where it attaches. My parents live right on the border of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia.
All right.
Fantastic.
Amherst, right?
I see
there.
Amherst.
So
Amherst.
it's just south of Prince Edward Sound.
Prince Edward Island.
Okay, what's the body of water?
The Cobwood Bay.
Is it like the main body of water north of there is? No, north of all of Nova Scotia. Yeah, what's that bay? There's a big bay. What's that
Bay
bay?
Verte?
Chignecto Bay. What is it? Oh, Northumberland Strait.
Oh, I guess I had no idea.
Yeah,
Okay,
my dad's from a little further north. My dad is from Newfoundland.
Wow.
But yeah, I have a lot of family in Prince Edward Island.
Now, is it just covered in trees and
Beautiful, very scenic, gorgeous.
is it pine trees mainly?
Pine, a lot of birch, pine, birch.
So if you were to visit for a long weekend, when would you go and where would you go? For like one of us to take our wives.
You wouldn't go for a long weekend because it's like 7 hours to get there. So but flying, that's the flying time. So it's a whole
Really?
day excursion to get there.
So it's a week. Spend a week
It's
there.
a week at least. Yeah, and you can take a ferry from Portland to Yarmouth.
Yeah, so that's where see the Shabig Island right there? That's where it's at. So back out again and then head towards Nova Scotia.
Interesting.
That's pretty close.
You can almost swim that.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, I
Absolutely.
wouldn't, but you
It's like-
could.
It's
Absolutely.
like a foot.
I come from a family of fishermen. You know, my
Are they
family's-
lobstermen?
Yeah,
No kidding.
yeah, lobster fishermen.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I grew up, we had fresh fish all the time. We really didn't eat much other than fish. So coming here and someone says, "Oh, you want a piece of fish?"
That's not real fish.
Yeah, like
not-
I've been there, done that.
That's not
Damn
real.
you.
That's not real fish.
Give me some beef.
So, but where would you go? Like, what would you recommend as a week long fantastic vacation?
You know,
What, out in Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably, I would probably go. So if you go up a little further north to Cape Breton Island, it is it's scenic and so beautiful, just lush and green.
But you need to be there in June, July.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
that does
tourist
look-
season would be like sort of June, kind of July, definitely not August.
because it's
Cold.
Yeah, it'd be
cold
cold.
already in August.
It's cold.
'Cause I
So
know we-
June is when to go.
Yeah, June, July.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say cold in August, what does that mean?
Chilly. So, you're talking about 50 degrees. The end of August, you might get down in the 50s in the evening.
No, that's not bad.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Well, when you spend the whole year, 50,
it's nothing.
40,
You never really
30,
get warm. Yeah.
20, negative. Yeah.
Yeah. You barely got warm, and then here it is again.
Yeah, here it is again. I wouldn't want to go back and live there. I love my family and I would love to be close to them, especially as my parents are aging.
Yeah.
But they're really,
They're dug in.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's cool.
It's their home.
That's a dudette moment. I mean, there are people just like you that have family just like this, that they're confined to a lifestyle that
And
they
love it.
appreciate, they love. This is what they're used to.
And you left for love at what age?
26.
And then that's it. You never went back.
I never went back.
And you've been a Texas girl ever since.
A Texas girl ever since. I even had like a Southern twang. I actually have an alter ego. Her name's Virginia Mae Davis.
Really?
hmm
Okay.
So, do your friends back at home, they make fun of you?
They do. So when I go home, for the first couple of days, I have like the little Texas Southern twang. I don't hear it myself when I'm talking. If I, over talk and I say something real Southern, that's, I'm overemphasizing it.
Of course.
But they'll say, "Oh my gosh, where are you from? That southern accent." Southern accent. I'm from like right up the street.
Yeah.
Right.
But when
you're
we
absorbing Texas roots here.
yes, and when I come home, I kind of adjust and then start talking like a Nova Scotian. Some of the words, and then when I come home, people are saying, well, "What are you talking about?" Like a lot of words are different.
Sure.
So when I first moved here, I moved to Arlington.
Okay.
And a lady was asking me, like, what street do you live on? I said, South Fielder. And she said, South Fielder? I'm like, yeah, South Fielder. She said, could you spell that? I'm like, South.
You mean South, you
And
stupid bitch? Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly
What the fuck is wrong with you? Where the fuck you come from, Nova Scotia?
Yeah. What are you, stupid?
And she said, honey, that's South. You got to put a little nasal in it.
That's great.
So I've been saying South ever since. And I think about it. So another word that I say is, I got to think about it. Hold on a second. Decal. Decal. You guys call it a decal?
Uh-huh.
But I call it a decal. And I see one and I'm like, oh, let's get that decal. And my kids are
they
like,
say that in Nova Scotia? They call it a decal.
Mm-hmm, a decal, but it's decal
So
here.
It's a Canadian thing, I
Yeah,
guess.
so I can't say the word. I actually have to, I know I can't say it, so I have to stop for a minute and go like, oh, I recognize what that is.
Right.
Allow me to process that in my native language.
Yeah, it's got to be
funny.
tough.
Oh, for sure.
I can tell you, with me, maybe Paul as well. I mean, I have a tendency to, when I'm around different people, I'll absorb their accent. I'm kind of like Camel Toe Harris. I will.
Wow.
I kind of read the crowd, and all of a sudden, I'm right in there.
I'm the same.
I don't know, and it's because I lived on the East Coast in the Northeast. My family's from the Northeast, and and when I talk to some Spanish people, it's the same thing. So not to rationalize her. Actually, she's an idiot, but
Oh, boy.
no, hold on.
You did rationalize her.
Yeah,
you
just-
identify with her.
I
You just
did
did.
from a, but look, she's not talking
He's
to
voting
them.
for her. He's voting
He
for
is.
her.
That's what I
No,
feel. I'm gathering that.
my point is that she's not actually talking to someone where they're going back and forth in the conversation
No,
where you're picking up
she's
hints and
pandering.
tones.
Yeah,
She's
she's
pandering.
That's
addressing,
different.
addressing an
I kinda
audience.
made it was kind of a joke when I said that, but I do get it. I mean, I do. Like, when I go visit, I kind of like for a week or two, I'll get a little Northeast twang that'll hop on, they'll attach to me, and then I'll come back and my wife's kind of like, "Shut the fuck up! What are you talking like that for?"
Yeah.
And
Jeff
then
and
I'm
I,
like, "Oh, I make these course corrections," and then
and Jeff and I just call you gay and move on.
Yes.
as in happy.
As in New Jersey
No,
is your
definitely
favorite place.
not happy. The
Dude,
exact
okay, look.
opposite of happy.
My job took me.
It's the most beautiful
To the
place in the
Northeast.
world.
Most beautiful.
New Jersey's known as the Garden State.
Oh,
You were
it's
saying
not all
it's stunning.
Newark.
It's
You said
literally.
Newark is the best city
I
I
did
have
not
ever
say
been.
that.
I think
it was.
There's
I
so
think-
many Irish bars.
I think
There
he
were a
called
lot
it.
of
I
Irish
think he
bars.
called it God's country.
Yes.
Well,
And-
the
and
Irish
said-
bars were God
And
country.
said, "I really don't want to come home, guys. I don't want to come home. I love it here." You queer.
Oh my God! My job took me, and I had to hit all these different spots, and they took me across New Jersey, and it was absolutely stunning because it was Octoberish, Novemberish.
It is
and
beautiful up there.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Of
And you
course.
see all the pumpkin patches out there, and I walked in this one place, and I was like doing my job, and they were like, "Hey, Madonna lives up the street," and I was like, "Oh, well, that's great. I don't care," but
Who?
I was like, Madonna Marana.
Madonna.
Madonna the pig. Marano means pig. Marana means a female pig, I think.
Okay.
So Madonna Marana. it was just something I used to
Am
say.
I missing something here? So who lives up the street?
Madonna.
Like
she lives up the street.
So actual Madonna, like
Yes.
No, she lives over in Europe.
Like a virgin.
Well, no, she
I was
That
just going to
Madonna.
sing that, but
Yeah,
maybe
were
we
you?
should sing it
Yes.
together. All right, continue. So New Jersey, Madonna lives there.
My whole point is that I get it. You know, it's like you move, your dialect changes, it morphs, and you don't have any control over it. You know, it's like you hear me on the podcast. Sometimes
Yes, you sound like a retard.
Bill Cosby, typically.
One of the people. That's what I say. When I go and I pick up
Like
the
the
dialect,
village
I'm
people.
one of the people.
Ah.
Yeah, you
Well,
relate to everyone.
Here he's right. You're part of the village people now.
oh.
Like here at the podcast. So I have a question for you. We when we talk about politics and we hear stories coming out of Canada, it's kind of shocking, the stuff we hear coming from Canada.
More of it on this.
So you've lived in Canada for 26 years, and you've lived here for 20-something years,
30-ish.
30-ish.
Oh, wow.
More.
All right, so you've gotten a flavor.
I didn't say it.
You've gotten a flavor of both countries. What would you like when you hear the craziness of some of the stories coming out of Canada?
Do you have dual citizenship?
I
Technically?
do not have dual citizenship. I'm a Canadian citizen. I cannot have dual. I have to decide.
Are you allowed to
Correct.
vote?
I'm not allowed to
No.
vote.
You can if
No.
you go to California.
Apparently.
That's true. You don't have to show an ID.
Show up.
Just
Hey,
go
how
and
you
vote.
doing?
You know, my youngest daughter just moved to Los Angeles. Well, Glendale. So maybe I need to go
Hey, man,
visit
just
her and
show
vote.
up in South California and just
And-
vote.
Yeah, just South California.
So you have a green card.
I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you've had a green card for like pretty much the whole time you've been here. Well, no, it took a while to get it.
It wasn't really a tough process. So, you know, that Canadian border, Canada to the United States, not a big deal.
We're like,
More like a formality.
we're brothers, we're sisters.
Yeah,
we're already
we're people.
one.
Yeah, we're cousins.
I
We're
mean,
kissing
they're already
cousins.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there. I
It's-
mean,
Right there.
So is Mexico.
that's
Now that's not there.
but there's a
It's even
cultural.
closer.
It's a cultural difference, though. I mean,
And the majority of Canadians speak English.
Yeah, they got
Very-
the French section there.
And we don't,
That's-
and nobody else likes them. Oh, did I say that?
Yeah.
hey, fuck.
But
them.
they
Well,
say
the company I used to work for had some customers there, and they were quite challenging.
Yeah.
the
they-
French people,
The
The
Canadians?
French people, they demand
they're entitled.
Oh, the-
everything in French.
you're talking about the French Canadians. I got you.
Oh,
Yeah, so the Quebec area, I guess. And
Quebec.
they demanded we hire people that knew how to speak French.
Oh wow.
So we had to hire a bunch of folks who spoke French.
Austin.
We had to do some special things to get French keyboards for their computers and all that stuff. And they're very demanding.
Hmm.
So I mean, are there Canadians that feel like they are challenging? The
Oh,
people in-
very, very challenging.
Really? All right. So there's like friction between Canadians.
Always has been. They're just not very warm and accepting of every. You know, you heard years ago that they wanted to separate themselves from Canada.
Oh.
be
Well,
their
they
own
can. They could
entity.
fucking go back to France.
Ooh.
I'm not a
easy
fan.
now.
I'm not a fan. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
Canadian.
look,
I'm not
serious.
a fan.
Easy
I
now.
mean,
There's-
I'm bitter.
there's
I'm bitter
gener-
about what's going on in Canada. I'm telling you, I don't like how I don't like Justin Trudeau. I don't like. I mean, there's Canadian citizens are up in arms. They're not happy with it either.
They're not up in arms. So Canadian citizens are not up in arms. So very different than American citizens. Like we get mad here, we get angry, we're very vocal, and Canadians are just like, oh man, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go back to my hut.
I'm going to put my
it sucks.
toboggan,
It sucks.
on.
Yeah, it sucks, but we will do nothing about it. Is that what you're saying? That's
Well,
what
they can vote.
That's what they do.
They
Stop.
don't vocalize it, but
Or
when
else
they,
they
when
stop
they
again.
vote people out.
They vote. Yeah, they don't really. I don't know. I mean,
It's been a long time since
it's
you've
just-
been there to experience it, I
It
guess.
is. It's just not a political country. I can tell you. So, I personally, it's not that I don't have an opinion. It's just that I can't vote because I'm not a citizen.
Of course.
But you do
However,
have an opinion.
I do have an opinion, and I try to keep my opinion to myself sometimes, just because politics. People get really,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
they
Yes,
get
they
wrapped
do.
around
Yeah,
the
we'll
axles.
flog you here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you won't flog me because we kind of agree. So,
But I do lament that there are people that will refuse to listen to our podcast because we're so staunchly conservative Republican Trump supporters,
What-
and they would immediately be like, nope, forget it.
Yeah, pass.
But I hate that. But
Yeah.
anyway, go ahead.
That's too bad.
Yeah. So my family, all they see is what the media presents to them.
Oh, yes.
So back during the last election, I had some pictures on social media. I had a ball cap on that had Trump train on it, and I have another visor that had Trump 2020. And every time I took a selfie somewhere, I was always wearing something. I had a Trump flag in my backyard.
Nice.
Now you've done
Canadian flag, American flag, Trump flag, and it wasn't very well received
By who?
By several of my friends. People actually reached out to me and they said, "Do you know what you're representing here?" And I said, "Listen, I'm a single mom, and I put my youngest daughter through college by myself, paid cash for her education.
Good for you.
And the only reason I was able to do that was because of the administration. I was in the best financial position that I have ever been in.
Absolutely.
And that is not the case today.
Right.
And I'm just going to let it, the facts prove themselves.
Yep.
Everything
The
is
cards got to
different.
just fall where they may.
They do.
And, I'm scared to death. I'm not scared to death. I'll be extremely disappointed if Camel gets freaking hired.
I know. How did your family respond? I was curious.
They were not happy with me.
Are you kidding me? You know what? There's a lot of Northeasterns, like Shebig Island. I don't know if there were a bunch of lesbians out there, or they're definitely all Democrats. But
Wow.
I'm just saying, like on the island, there's like they all have short hair, and maybe they just don't want to manage it. I'm just saying they have like
It's
the
a different
litness.
lifestyle.
And look, I don't care either way. I don't care. I really don't. But it's just like they're all staunchly Democrat over there, and it's just like I really wanted to bring a Trump flag and
boy.
put it in my suitcase.
Next time you go, take one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go rent a golf cart, and I'm gonna staple that fucker on the back of the golf cart and go around that 3-mile island just nonstop until the battery fucking runs out.
Texas man is found dead on island blah blah blah
With his Garrett Carrot.
He had been bludgeoned to death by the village, the island natives.
My Garrett Carrot. That's funny. Do you know
By
what that
root
is?
vegetables, no.
The Garrett Carrot. It's a
metal detector.
It's a metal detector little thing. A little. So you have the big metal detector. You go like whoop, 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 you swipe.
Right.
It's got it on a pole. The Garrett Carrot
I've
is
never
a smaller
heard of
one.
that.
The
We've
Garrett
talked
Carrot.
about it.
Yeah, but Garrett Carrot, I've never
Yeah,
heard
we've
you.
talked about that.
Sounds like someone doesn't pay attention.
I don't
Yeah.
remember you ever using that term.
He's the one who brought it up.
Is that a brand name? Like
It's called the Garrett, but they nicknamed it the Garrett Carrot because it's the shape of a carrot and it's orange.
where'd it come from?
It comes from probably China.
No. I mean,
And why are they using it? Why
Mr.
can't
Producer,
they
pull
use?
up Garrett Carrot.
Why can't they use the wand?
but is Garrett?
Well, it is a wand. So pull up Garrett Carrot. So basically, when you have the regular metal detector, and you go over the ground and you find a prospect, and then you punch a shovel down there, you pull it up, and you take your Garrett Carrot.
Okay, that is the brand name. It's Garrett.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
waterproof, and So when you stick your shovel in the sand and you pull it out, you don't want to take your metal detector over that. You take the Garrett Carrot and poke it in the sand and see where it's at specifically, because it's more localized. It goes kind of right to it. It doesn't go down very far. Does that make sense?
So how did you get to the Garrett Carrot? Because I'm trying to think of all the.
What the hell did you say that for? Oh, because
You did.
all right. So I went out last time I went to the Shebig Island. I
He was
actually
looking for Excalibur,
I-
so he brought his.
I brought
looking for
a whole
swords and-
fucking system. I brought my metal detectors. I'm gonna go find some
He wants to find
treasure.
like a
some
chariot.
people's jewelry.
Hey, I'm gonna go look for some booty.
It was his last ditch effort for like riches.
He's watched all the Oak Islands.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was mesmerized. I was like, I am going to find a ancient sword.
You didn't though.
I did not.
You did find a tin
You found
rusty
some-
can. I think.
I found all
Some
kinds of
top
cool
tops.
things. So I learned that the island, Shebig Island, what used to in World War II used to have a manufacturing facility there that made watches of all things. And you would plus you'd find all kinds of like boat things. Like there was like a little gas caliper. It's all you find it super small and. It was cool. I still found some cool shit, but it wasn't worth anything. And I found a lot of melted metal. That was weird.
Yeah, it's probably from the meltdown.
I don't know.
All right, before we run out on this, I want to Jackie was kind
Let's
enough
talk about
to
this.
bring a
Yeah.
nice bourbon, or I don't know, is it a bourbon or a whiskey?
It's bourbon.
Bourbon.
Let's talk about it.
This is I want you to kind of explain where you got it from and the process and everything, and then we can all talk around.
What is it called?
It's called the Whiskey Blendery.
Where's the bottle at? Oh, does Austin in it?
Yes.
Were you bringing it up so you can see it? It's a beautiful spot.
He's gonna
It's a
pull it
beautiful
up on the
spot.
screen here in a second.
When you pull up to
Oh,
it,
they don't have anything?
Oh yeah, you can find it.
The whiskey blendery. Oh.
There it is.
You big
Oh, he's
dog.
talking about the particular bottle.
Well, each
Oh,
one's different, right?
Yeah, each one's different.
Okay, so is this
all of
like
these
the other one, the Oak and Hammer? What is the
Oak and Eden?
Okay.
Oak and Eden? Is this similar?
I would not say so. Oak and Eden, you're putting staves in your product to flavor the product, and they're truly blending from what they have. They're blending from the barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what exactly are they blending?
It's MGP.
Okay.
So and they it's a really cool place, and it's a really cool process. So they're sourcing MGP, bringing it here. They have a rick house that's in Wills Point, and you can go out and have a blending experience. So it's membership based. So, but you can still go out as a daily event as a non-member to be able to be able to blend. So. The one that I brought tonight was Sonoma Sunset. That was one of my favorites. I have several bottles from them.
It's so light and elegant.
It is.
I will tell
It
you
is.
that. It's got the perfect amount of spice. It does have legs.
It
I mean,
does.
it is thick. It's viscousy. It's light and delicate with spice. It's like a rye light is what I could probably.
Yeah, and it doesn't drink the proof.
No. What is it?
No,
116?
it's 115, 116.
116.4.
It does not. You can't taste it. So I always enjoy a whiskey or bourbon that's higher proof that you can't taste it. It always reflects that it was well made.
Yeah. Now, you said this is Sonoma Sunset. Was this already blended for you?
Yes.
So do they, or can you go and say, I'm going to make the Sonoma Sunset today, and they say, okay, you take
No, she walks in.
part of this
She's
and
like the
part of
cheers.
this.
She's like Norm. And they like
do you
"You got
have
your
the
bottle right here."
But do you have the opportunity to go in there and say, I want to do my own
You do.
from your stuff?
Yeah, you can do your own from their stuff. You can have a blending experience and make your own.
Where are these guys at?
Will's Point.
Wills Point. It's in between Little Elm and Aubrey.
Oh shit! It's right here.
Right here.
It's right here. Just a great experience. Tim Hewells is the owner of the Whiskey
And
Blendery.
do you know these folks?
Great guy. Yeah.
So there's a little. It says about us somewhere on here. There's all a picture
So-
of a man and a woman.
So there at the place, they have what? He's got a couple hundred bottles of
barrels.
of each blend.
So when they make a blend,
Oh.
whatever the yield is in the barrel, so
Right.
depending on what the angels take, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Then you have whatever is left
Those
over.
frisky whores. They do.
So
They
no,
are.
they do.
Now, Will's Point is on its way out to Terrell.
So the Whiskey Blendery is a craft distillery, locally owned and operated by our
Oak
family
Point.
in Oak Point,
Oak
Texas.
Point. I said Wills Point.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We believe in
Will's Point is
quality,
really far.
community, and freedom to create something truly unique with our members. We are devoted to the experimentation and patience required to craft world-class spirits while helping to, I almost said erect, but create lasting memories among family and friends. So Oak Point is actually a pretty cool little nugget of a place. It's
Teeny
it's a small
tiny.
little nugget right in the middle of the lake area right there. It's like lake people out there. Oak Point.
Yeah.
Is that
so
right?
yeah. Mhm.
I had a
space.
job out there once, and
Oh.
it was kind of cool because they got these super large houses, and you're like, what the hell?
It's not cool now. There's so many people. There's so much traffic out
That's
there.
too bad.
I mean, the Whiskey Blendery is super cool, but it's
So-
just congested.
So I want to go to this joint.
Yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
that'd be cool. Check it out.
When you said Will's Point, I'm like, well, that's about an hour and a half
Yeah,
away from
Oak,
us.
Oak Point.
Oak
Right.
Point.
Yeah,
Okay,
Oak
that's,
Point
I messed that
is
up.
30 minutes,
Yeah.
25 minutes. It's
that's
just
much more doable with it.
right over the bridge, I think. Is it?
Yeah, and I told you I'm a connector, right? So I know
Yes.
people.
You gonna make it happen?
I can make it happen.
You want to meet us out there?
Yes, I would
Let's
love
make it
that.
a date. You want to
Yeah.
bring out some of your bourbon friends and just make it an entourage. We'll bring some sandwiches, some
Yeah,
like a hoagie.
a
Interesting.
hoagie.
Yeah, what, are we making bologna sandwiches? What are we
Yes.
doing here? And maybe some
Who
Cheetos?
said hoagie?
The hell? Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, bologna sandwiches go perfect with whiskey.
Of course.
That's my favorite.
So how many different blends does he have bottled and available when you go there? Like, is
I don't know from time to time. Several.
Okay.
So probably on average, eight different blends that he has available. But
Okay.
in popularity, they were small and just independently owned, and they've really grown over the last couple of years. They have a bigger social media presence. That's why I said when you brought this up, they have all kinds of podcasts. They've hired some folks to come in and do some
Smart.
Well, obviously they need to bring in the right type of podcast. It's gonna really.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, look. I mean, we're a different breed. I mean, because we're not family friendly.
Oh.
Period. I mean,
Yeah.
We really
we
aren't.
talk about some things. You're not going to be able to unleash us in front of a bunch of kids because next thing you know,
Well, there's
we're gonna,
not very many kids that are at the Whiskey
we
Blendery.
sample a bunch of things. Next thing you know, Paul and Jeff are running around naked.
Oh,
No,
really?
No.
Really?
So
Mm.
so the bottles are waxed.
Yes.
So when you blend your own, do you dip your
Yeah,
bottle?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's
Very
kinda cool.
nice.
Yeah. I love the glassware. The product's always good. I have several bottles that are
What's
absolutely
the sticker price
delicious.
on
About $100.
that? $100.
Do they have the age statements on any of their barrels so you know how
They
old the stuff
do.
is?
Absolutely.
What's their oldest stuff for the?
They just bottled golly, I can't remember the name of it. It's a wild turkey fowl something. Anyway, I think it's 20-year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they got
You're gonna pay for
bake
that, though.
sale opening season. I'm sorry, I thought I was looking at. There's Rise and Rye. So, how many different selections do they have to put in there?
They have a lot of selections, and they each bottle, each one that they come up with are different blends.
Right.
So, and it's different people creating different blends.
Right.
A lot of the clubs now are really getting engaged and doing some of their picks. Like all the clubs that I'm involved in do their own club picks. So depending on the distillery, they'll go to the distillery, they'll try different products, and then they choose a barrel, and then they work with the distributor, a liquor store, and then we have a drop where you go and wait in line like a crazy person for several hours. It's about the community.
Right.
So you have a lot of clubs are going out there these days and doing picks with them.
So he's going out and picking single barrels, like the main distillery or the main blender.
Yes.
He's going out and picking single barrels of this, of that, of 2 or 3, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't. We don't know how many.
Whatever he can get.
Right, and then he's bringing that back and he's doing his own blend.
Doing his own thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great guy. Great blender. Like everything that they blend is fantastic. His team is growing as well. So he's brought people in he has a young guy from Kentucky that is an incredible blender as well.
Okay.
Yeah, great palates.
Now it's similar to what Rare Character does, right?
Rare Character. They do a lot of single barrels.
Yeah,
But they're blenders. They go around and pick
I don't
single
think-
barrels and they blend and
I
they
don't
this
think they
and they
blend though. I
They
think
don't?
I don't think they blend it. I think what they do is they procure these barrels and they're just
that. They bottle them.
they're
So they pick,
winners.
They pick a perfect single barrel.
Yeah, they go through a bunch, and I'm telling you what, that's the hunt. Let you know, and your bourbon friends, we love Rare Character.
So
We really enjoy it.
So Rare Character, where are they? Where are they from?
So they're not based out of really anywhere. Mr. Producer, maybe pull that Rare Character. We know that Jeff went out to Nevada. He grabbed one. He was like, "What is this?" And
Well, I knew what it was.
Yeah. Well,
Because I saw it. It was all the way up at the top. There was a little liquor store out there where my dad was, and some guy owned it, and I'd go in there every time I'd visit my dad, and I'd get one of his picks or something like that. And I walked in, and I saw it at the top, and I'd never seen it out in the wild anywhere. I was like, "Is that a Rare Character up there?" And he's like,
and he's going to take it back.
"Yeah."
Oh,
And
really? You know what?
He's like, I love you.
It's a Rare Character, the Exceptional Series.
The
So these
Exceptional
guys,
Series, right.
they go out and
They're single malts.
Yeah, they pick all kinds of crazy stuff, and they're super rich. They got so much flavor. And look, I encourage you to take some. Just pour yourself a little bit and sample it. We've got a Frey, a weeded Frey that is also found in Nevada. Those guys are fantastic. Not half the people have liked it, half the people don't like it. I love it.
It's very unique.
It's very unique. It tastes like buttercream. It's insane.
Butter popcorn,
Yeah.
like a lot.
If you like weeded whiskeys,
Yeah.
you will really like it. It's 100% wheat, right?
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It is bizarre.
It's a
It is
bizarre
good.
taste.
It's good though. And look, all right, let's go back to the Blendery.
Okay.
I want to we rate these whiskeys, and
Ooh.
this is the Sonoma Sunset. The Blendery. It's a 116.4 proof. It's procured or made. The distillery is right there at Oak Point, Texas. And I'm going to give this a 7.4 for what it is.
Okay. What about you, Jeff?
7?
Hey, look, nothing is typically over an 8
Really?
or 9. Yeah.
Interesting.
We don't. I mean, we have like 1 or 2.
Rare characters are
are, but
highest.
that's it's the perfect for what it is. It's perfect. I'll say 7.4. I feel comfortable with that.
What about you, Jeff?
I'm a little bit higher than that. I'm going to give it an 8. I like the smoothness of it. There's a sweetness on there that I like, and it finishes really well. I think I'm picking up lots of teas or tobaccos or whatever you want to call it. So I'm a little bit higher. I like this. I can enjoy this. Very easy to drink.
It's almost like a dessert.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're calling a sunset.
Very
You
easy
can
to
sit
drink.
out there and I could pound this.
Absolutely. And just remember, like,
Scary.
that bottle's no longer available.
Right.
Yeah, it's a blend.
And we drank it.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you drank it.
She's like,
You
I'm
know?
so fucking happy.
That honestly, that's the whole part. That's the whole part of the community that I love, right?
Right.
You crack open a bottle and you share it with people and you talk shit about stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that
There you
is. I mean, there's what say you, Paul?
So I like you said, it's a light. It's a light. I prefer probably richer, little more kind of oomph to it. But I still would give it a 7.2. And anything over a 7 is good.
It's good in your books.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is actually.
No, for all of us, anything over a 7 is quality.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
don't think that is a bad thing.
No,
And one
It's absolutely not.
one thing as we've been doing this for a few years is all of our palates were pretty much the same when we started, and we're starting to deviate more and more as we do this. Like Sean likes everything; it doesn't matter. When I say that, it's the different things, right? Like I cannot stand the really smoky, like the Balcones Brimstone or the Campfire from High West or anything
Oh,
like that.
I'm not doing campfire.
I can't do that
Ooh, I love
that
it.
stuff.
Burnt tires and
Yeah.
camp. And,
I can handle that.
Yeah,
I
he
like
likes it.
You do?
I can. I
You
mean,
like that?
within moderation.
Yeah, I can't drink that. It
I
almost
can't
makes me
either.
gag.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm not a Scotch
where
drinker
Paul, when we had the fray,
Mm.
wheat, he's like, he couldn't even drink it.
I couldn't.
He drank it though.
Yeah, he did. He
Well,
added,
I
no, you
had
added
to.
water to it.
Did I add water to
You
it?
added water, and you said that helped immensely. So the longer we do this, our palate is changing and growing, I think.
I think I'm the same way. Like I've been probably 5 years engaged in the community, and my palate was. I was excited to find a Buffalo Trace.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't score very high for me.
The
You know?
Buffalo Trace. Well, it
I
doesn't.
mean, look, it's solid, but it's just Buffalo Trace. And there's some people out there, but like, you're an asshole. I am an asshole.
We're the same
but-
way with Blanton's. The standard Blanton's are just
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
come on, man. I
So,
mean,
but,
there's.
so
But I-
Jackie,
you
what was
were-
your take on Buffalo Trace? You're saying it just kind of
Well, when I began drinking, I mean, I've always drank whiskey, and I thought I drank whiskey. So
Yeah.
very, very different when you actually drink whiskey.
Canadian whiskey?
Canadian whiskey. People tell me all the time, like, I drink whiskey.
CC, Canadian
Crown,
whiskey.
Canadian Club,
Canadian
Right.
Club, yeah, there it is.
Canadian Mist.
I used to have I bartended a long time ago. They were like, "Hey, I'll have a CC and soda." Yeah, all right, there you go. There's your CC and soda.
really. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nah,
Yeah, so I started off, just very excited to have Buffalo Trace. I like Knob Creek.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
good.
that's
That's
kind
good
of
stuff.
where I
A
kind of
9-year?
cut my teeth. The 9 years really good.
Yes.
That's where I cut my teeth. I was excited to find the Buffalo Trace, and then I got really engaged in the community, and it just went, off the rails.
That's crazy.
It goes crazy. Just just the FOMO and the chasing and the waiting in line and being up all night. And I waited in the Specs
Are you
line.
kidding me?
Yeah, I waited in Specs.
I've got a handful of fuck that.
Specs drop last year
Oh,
for
did
2 days.
Did you get anything good?
I did. I got lots of great stuff.
They don't
No
limit you like
shit.
one from
You
this
camped
table, one from
outside.
that table.
One per, yeah.
Like overnight?
I did. Yeah, for 2 days.
Are you shitting me?
No.
How many bottles did you get?
I think I got 15.
All right,
I got
well.
one of everything that was accessible to me.
That is fantastic. I mean, it's crazy.
Actually,
How
So much
fantastic.
fun.
How far back in the line were you, though?
I was 110. 110.
And how many were behind you?
600.
Yowza.
And so hold on. So this was a special drop.
And they
had
do
to
it every
be-
year, every
year.
December, right?
Every
Okay,
year.
I didn't know about this. I know that we're wrapping up here, but I'd be curious to hear more about this. So this is a 1 year.
Once a year thing.
Once a year. It's all
And
the allocated products that Specs brings in. They kind of hoard them and hang on to them. And then they do this big
I'll tell you
drop.
what. Let's set up a camper. We'll do a podcast out there.
Absolutely. I stayed in a camper.
The problem is we would be so shit faced we would sleep in the next morning and we would
Miss it.
miss.
Dude, for 2 days it doesn't matter.
They're knocking on your door. Yeah, they're coming to get you. No one's going to let you sleep in.
Are you sleeping in tents along
Tents, camp chairs. I stayed in an RV last year.
Dude.
We had a big bonfire outside.
It actually
Crazy.
sounds
Nobody
pretty cool.
bothers you. It's great.
Check us out on Dudes Like Us Podcast, Dudes Like Us Woodcraft on Instagram and Facebook. It is the first half of the Dudes Like podcast. It is October 22nd. Thank you, Mr. Producer, for staying charged here. Thank you, Jackie. Are you sticking around for the second half?
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
God
It
bless.
is Paul's birthday.
Yes.
Paul birthday.
You must stay for the second half of my
Must-
birthday.
Are we having cake?
I don't think so.
No,
but-
I did not make a cake.
Oh.
Well, you can
We
have
had
some
popcorn.
buttery. You can have some of that fray. It tastes like cake.
Oh, I'm totally doing
This
it.
is
Dudes
true.
Like Us. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
I am Jeff.
And Jackie Mac.
There you go.
All right.